of the press running, it's like music to your ears.
It's got a lot of bass to it. You can feel it in your chest, you know? It definitely goes through you. When you hear the iron banging on, floor shaking and everything, I mean, you get all that steel moving. It's pretty cool.
We had it so many times, when something is wrong, we can hear it as well. You better shut this thing down, it's going to blow up. Printing presses are an animal of their own. They're very tricky to deal with. Everything has to be perfect. A lot of people don't realize how much tolerance there is in some of these rollers that we have to set. They have to be exact.
We would call ourselves maintenance personnel, repairmen.
We're machinists.
We live in a disposable society. When our technology breaks, we replace it. But the art of repair is still practiced on the margins of our tech-obsessed culture. We went to the New York Times printing plant in Queens to meet the dying breed of repairmen who make sure the machines keep pumping out hundreds of thousands of newspapers every day.
This is the press room machine shop in College Point, New York, at the New York Times printing facility. We print close to 300,000 copies every night, and on the weekend, it's close to 1 million copies. Greg Zerafa, 20 years here at the Times.
Chris Bedetto, 33 years of service.
Jerry Greaney, 31 years.
I would say the majority of the equipment in the entire building is mid-90s, early to mid-90s when this facility was built.
The press are about 20 years old.
20 years old. As a mechanical repair person or maintenance person, I would rather work on an older piece of equipment than a newer piece of equipment because a lot of the stuff on the newer end is electronic driven.
Mechanical stuff's more reliable, and it is. I mean, electronic stuff is junk. The advanced equipment, sometimes it won't run. You keep turning it on and off for how many times, and next thing you know, it's working. 2 hours later, you change a part. What was that?
You know, you would rather walk to a piece of equipment and see like a big shaft snapped in half because you know you could fix it. Finding parts for some of the existing equipment has gotten to be a little challenging.
Manufacturers gone out of business.
Manufacturers gone out of business. We've gone to eBay, to Amazon for certain components that are just obsolete. And when we find them, we do purchase them.
The amount you really have to know to get through a day.
And
it's insane.
The attention to detail. You might think, oh, you take one gear off, you put another gear on. You're talking, you know, thousandths of an inch in measurements, stuff alignment.
Pin registration, probably one of the most crucial settings on the press. There's a built-in offset and where the pins are located. The pins at the bottom are in a few thousandths of an inch to 8 thousandths of an inch on the outside pin. It's critical that everything is done as close as possible. If you're off a little here, and you keep adding it up, it just builds.
Most people won't pick up the flaws that we can see in the newspaper, except the most obvious ones if there's real blurry.
The most common flaws in a newspaper would be press markings coming off the folder, ink offset, registration defects where the images are blurred.
Ghosting. Anytime something goes wrong, you work like a friggin' maniac to fix it. You think it's like a fire and you got to get it done in 5 minutes. And
you're trained that way.
You're trained that way.
We try to get it fixed, even if we got to put a Band-Aid on it, that it gets through the night. Until that press is back up and running or that piece of equipment is back up and running, it's, you know, you do have that adrenaline flow, 100%. Right now, we got a call out to 439, and the problem they're saying is we have no VSI. Some of the problems that could occur are no VSI motor, and right now we're going to go in there and take a look and see what we got. The worst job depends on who you ask. I mean, I think a B-level VSI motor, because there's only a handful of guys that could squeeze in there, probably us three are part of that handful. It's just a tight area, and you have to pretty much balance and be able to, you know, work your way into that spot and basically hold up a, 50 or 60-pound motor with one hand while turning a wrench with the other, while balancing on a ladder or a beam.
On the top step of it.
If you look, you'd say you wouldn't get in there, but we get in there.
Get in there.
It's tight.
This is a variable speed inker motor, and what this does is it distributes ink evenly across the ink train, and so that travels up the cylinder. This is magenta. It's tight. You gotta just find the right spot with your wrench. I know I've gotten it in here before with this, so I got it. I think I got it.
One of the worst jobs as well is when you're elbow deep into ink. When something goes wrong behind the ink packs, when you gotta get in there, there's no way of getting in there except putting your hands in there.
That doesn't bother me.
But you're making money.
That's just dirt.
Ink is black gold is a saying that we use if you're covered in ink. I mean, that means you're doing a job, and if you're doing a job, it's usually taking a long time. If you're covered that much in ink, that means you're making money.
And the other part of that as well is that a day without ink is like a day without sunshine. I love having clean hands, you know. I like making money, but I like having clean hands too. This is about a 70-pound ink pack. You just take it out, put it in. That's it. Nice, easy day.
When I see someone reading the New York Times or buying the New York Times or having a copy of the New York Times with them, there's a sense of pride in that. Because, you know, there's only a handful of people that really know what goes on behind the scenes to get that paper to that reader.
With the presses, printing going down, there's not as many paper houses out there, so not as many people being taught how to do our job.
To the extent that we're a dying breed, we just went through a major loss of talent, you know, guys retiring. I mean, and now we got new guys coming in, and not to be mean, but their time frame is cut short. They got to learn, they got to pick this up quick. It's either shit or get off the pot.
But it's going to take them a long time to get the experience that we have, because this building is huge, from all the different machines, and you pick up tricks of the trade from over the years. I can't teach you everything that I know in 5 minutes. I believe the way newspapers are closing around the country, that eventually all newspapers will go out of business. But I think the New York Times will be here for another 15 years.
Everybody sees the writing on the wall and everybody, but I still think if you're gonna work for a newspaper, this is the one to work for.
I think so.
It's gonna be the last one standing. I pick up another newspaper in New York and it's
Look like a comic book.
It looks like a
The
comic.
Post and the other ones look like comic books to me. Nothing comes close.
There's
to
nothing
our paper.
impressive anymore.
Nothing. We got the best looking paper out there. It is. Best looking paper out there.
We always joke, I'll hold the door, you know, open for the last person to walk out, you know. Everybody here likes what they do.
Think we're gonna work here till the place shuts down?
I hope so.